New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Why, hello there. Hi, it's me, Bonnie Gonzalez, your doula for grief. I am a grief coach, a registered nurse, a religious science practitioner, and a licensed soul collage facilitator. And just want to say welcome again to another episode of your doula for grief. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome and thank you for viewing. And if you're returning, I am so truly honored to have you back. And I just want to start out again by just reminding you that grief is caused by loss. And loss is defined as any expected or unexpected occurrence where you cannot go back to the way things were before, such as death, divorce, a diagnosis, a geographical move, a natural disaster. Also the birth of a child, puberty, aging, a graduation, job promotion. Yes, all of those things can be a loss in a sense. And when I was thinking about job promotion, it's like, how can that be a loss? It's like, well, you're now stepping into something new that is unknown. Your old job is behind you. You can't go back to that. So you see how loss is really just as a quietly kind of insidious thing that can put you into grief. And then we define grief as the collection of normal, natural emotions that follows a loss. And it can include sadness and anger, but also include some numbness, confusion, and some guilt, anxiety, and even joy. So just embracing all of that, just knowing that grief is the human experience. And I can just assure you that you've come to the right place today to start your journey of befriending and understanding grief in a whole different way. And by starting your personal journey to befriending grief, we become guides to allow others, to start their own personal journey. And that is how we heal. One by one, healing together. We are social creatures. And my favorite author, Bell Hooks, says, we can't heal in isolation. So one by one, we confront grief on a level that is personal to us. And knowing that every person grieves differently. And with that said, I want to move into a collective grief that we're all going through right now. My condolences to a country that is in grief and mourning their queen, the United Kingdom. And just know that my heart is with you. And I have talked to so many people that the Queen's passing or transition, and I know it can be a political subject, but I'm not here for politics. I am here for you to discuss what your emotional state may be. And with the death of the Queen, I have talked to so many friends that have said that this reminds them of their own mother's death, their own mother's passing. And I can say the same for me. I started thinking about when my mother transitioned, and that was about 7 years ago. And how I remember after she transitioned, I just couldn't wait to have the funeral over. It's like, can we just get this done? And I think we buried my mom like within 3 days of her passing. And so I was thinking about the royal family having to have this go on for such a long period of time. But now when I look back on my own mother's death and funeral, I think I could have waited a little longer, maybe have had a little bit more of that public mourning, the weight that goes with that. I have a daughter who lives in Ireland, and when her mother-in-law died, their tradition is to bring the body back to the house the day before the service for it to lie in state in the home. And that's quite foreign for me. I'm not used to that. But now, being on the other side and having experienced the personal loss of my own mother, I can see that. I can see having that go on for a little bit longer than is normal here in the U.S. I'm in Mexico, sorry. So anyway, yes, I just want to say that. And I just thought, wow, with all of this coming up, with the Queen's transitioning, I thought our theme today should be building a grief support system. Building a grief support system. And I was talking with my sister about today's show, and she helped me come up with that theme, or planted the seed. And it just felt right. So how do we build a grief support system? As I said before, we learn how to do so many things. We're taught how to do so many other things, but we definitely are not taught how to grieve. So today we'll just look at some ways that we can build a grief support system. And I'll give you lots of information, but please don't feel like you've got to take everything. Just take what feels right. Leave the rest. Okay, just take what feels right. Just breathe into it when you hear it and it's like, oh, I like that. Yeah, I think I could try a little bit of that. Or breathe into it. Not today, Bonnie. So my first step that I would like to offer in building this grief support system is start by giving yourself permission to grieve. Giving yourself permission to grieve. So many times in life, we wait for others to give us permission to do things. But this is one time. Give yourself permission to grieve. And as I was saying, my sister that helped plant the seed for today's theme, she lost her husband tragically about 4 years ago suddenly. And sudden deaths are really extremely difficult, very shocking and jarring. And this was one of her recommendations, is to daily give yourself a space and place to breathe. And she said she gives herself an hour to cry every day. So I just say daily, set the timer, be it 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour. Set the timer and just give yourself permission to breathe. Be it to cry, to scream, to stomp, to yell, whatever it is that you need to do to Let that grief move through and out. Do it. We sometimes forget that grief does get stuck in our bodies if we don't address it. So that's why I like the idea of screaming and stomping, doing something physical. But whatever you do, be it you do you do it in the way that really addresses that grief within you. And some people feel like, oh, but if you do that every day, aren't you wallowing in grief? I say, no, you're not wallowing in grief. You're giving it a place to be. You're honoring your grief. And there is that expression, what you resist will persist. And if you're not resisting it, it has no place to get hidden or stuck. If you're saying, yes, grief, here's your place, treating it honorably. Because grief's superpower, remember, grief's superpower is healing. And the only way to heal is just to go straight through it. I love that when people say, time heals all wounds. And everything I read and hear and understand and talk with people, time does not heal wounds. It can allow them to fester and become infected. But time and attention can heal those wounds. Time and attention can help you heal your grief. And now that you've given yourself time to grieve, now that you've given yourself the permission to grieve, now ask yourself, what do I need now? What do I need? And the best way to get what you need is by asking. What is that? Asking for what you need increases the chances of your getting it versus if you don't. And we all have so many wonderful, loving friends that want to help we're in grief. But our friends don't know what to say. They don't know it. So many times people will feel that the griever is broken, that the griever needs to be fixed. And that is not true. If you're in grief, you're just in grief. It has nothing to do with being broken. And if you're a supporter of a griever, you can't fix that person because there's nothing to fix. They're not broken. They are just in grief. They are in grief. So some of the ways that we can help our friends that want to comfort us during grief is by just saying this. You can say to them, can you acknowledge that this is a hard thing to go through? Can you acknowledge that this is a hard thing to go through? So many people will say, oh, it'll be better. It'll get better. It's like, but for right now, can you just say that you acknowledge it's a hard thing to go through? Another response that you can help with gently teaching is, I would rather you tell me it's okay to have these feelings. Yes, that it's okay to have these feelings. I love that one about, your loved one wouldn't want you to feel X, Y, and Z. We're not talking about the loved one that has passed or transitioned. We're talking about you. And so that's why you can say, I would rather you tell me it's okay to have these feelings. And another response would be, I know it won't be like this forever, but I wish you could validate what I'm going through today. Just taking it one step at a time, one step at a time. and knowing that people mean well. And so we're helping them to know what to say, that they can help someone else in the future. Another idea, as I said, to give yourself permission to grieve, but asking yourself permission, granting yourself permission to ask more questions, to do a little bit deeper inquiry. And one of those questions is, where can I be kinder or gentler to myself in my grief? Where can I be kinder or gentler to myself in my grief? Where am I feeling trapped or muzzled? And here's one that you can ask yourself. If life, my friends, my job gave me a free pass, what would that look like? What would it look like if you got that pass that you say that you need? Exactly what would that look like? More time off, lessen a load of responsibility, maybe somebody coming by and doing laundry. Just what would that look like? As I said, I love ending my show with, what do you need today? And that's why I asked that. What do you need today? And then give it to yourself. Also, when you're giving yourself permission to grieve, you can speak it out loud like a mantra. To say it over and over, repeating it. It's a repetitive cycle when you're doing mantras. It's like, today I have permission to feel lonely without, and you fill in the blank. Today I have permission to feel lonely without. You can write your permission. You can write yourself a permission slip. You can write, I have permission to grieve. I have permission to feel whatever it is today. And you can post it where you can put it on a Post-it note and put it up where you can see it, like on a mirror, the kitchen cabinet, on the refrigerator. Put it somewhere so that you're reminded that you're giving yourself permission for this. And one other thing I love is touchstones. I have so many touchstones around in my house. But you can designate an object to represent your permission to grieve, like a stone, a coin, a piece of jewelry. When things get overwhelming, touch it to remind yourself that your feelings are normal and worthy of acknowledgement. That your feelings are normal and worthy of acknowledgement. And I can tell you what some people have said after doing this, after giving themselves permission and asking for what they need, having touchstones, even having a little rituals. You know, rituals are just so effective in bringing us back to now, but still honoring what it is that we're grieving. Rituals are truly effective for that. So add ritual in as well. And afterwards, this is what some people have said. They said, I feel like I'm more in touch with my feelings and I don't feel so overwhelmed by the thoughts in my head. Another person, my emotions feel normal now. I don't feel bad or wrong for feeling them. And that was one thing that my sister said to me last night about allowing herself to have that hour of grieving, that she didn't feel wrong. She didn't feel weak. She did say, you know, after her hour, she puts on her big girl panties and get on with the day. But I'm just saying that helped with that feeling of that you shouldn't be feeling this now because you've given yourself permission for that. And another statement, I can more easily give other people space and time to have their feelings. Whereas before he started doing that, he felt really awkward and just didn't have anything to say if he was confronted with a griever. But by addressing his own grief and acknowledging it, he felt better equipped to help someone else. And I know I've heard this so many times from so many people, and it's so sad. It still breaks my heart when they say, well, I didn't reach out to them or the family because I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to make them feel any worse. And it's like, those are the very things that make them feel worse when you don't reach out or acknowledge. So just know that reaching out is truly helpful. And you can always say, you're free to say, I don't know what to say. Just that my heart is broken, or I wish I had words to say that can bring some joy. So just know that your presence, I always go back to your presence is the most important thing. So let's just breathe that in. That's a lot. That permission granting and asking for what you need. Yeah, just breathe that in and let that move around your body and see how you're feeling there with that. Yeah. Another area I'd offer you to look into is how do you want to be communicated with? How do you want to be communicated with? Be it text, be it email, be it phone calls. Whatever you do, don't do it in isolation. Whatever it is, don't isolate. I have a friend, a sweet, darling, dear friend here in Mexico, very young lady, and she just lost the love of her life, a young man, in an accident. And her way of reaching out is that she did a Facebook post, and everybody's different. There's no judgment. It's doing what you need to do in your darkest hour. But I love that she did say, I am so sorry that I have not been able to return your phone calls or your texts, but she's just in a really place of hurting. And so I want to offer that. And that's why I brought up, how do you want to be communicated with? But if you're the supporter of the griever, know that the griever may not respond right away. That is a very common state to be in, that you just cannot respond to different forms of communication. So just having patience. But if you can identify what works best for you, just to receive a text to say, I'm thinking of you, that's something there. Because I know as a person, as a supporter of a griever, that I just want them to know that I was thinking about them. Not necessarily that I want to respond, just that, yes, I'm thinking about you, holding you in my heart today. So as I said, whatever you do, don't be in isolation. Don't be in isolation. And I think I want to take a little break before we come back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about reviewing the four friends that we all need. So we're going to take a break and then come back and keeping the conversation going on building your support system for grief, building your grief support system. We'll be right back.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hi, and welcome back to your Doula for Grief. Yes, as we continue our theme today, building a grief support system. I was just looking for a note that I had another thought on grief, and I want to paraphrase it, but I can't remember enough of it to even paraphrase it. But it was to the effect that grief is just the yearning for our most deepest desires to be fulfilled. It's a yearning for our deepest desires to be fulfilled. And I remember, we'll talk for just a minute about yearning. And there was something about a program I was watching about people being treated for grief, with antidepressants. And I am not putting down antidepressants, none of that. None of that. Medication is what you and your physician decide that's needed. But when I heard this about yearning, it was like so many people in grief are actually yearning for their loved one. And the scientists went on to say that yearning is not a symptom of depression. That yearning is not a symptom of depression. So I just remembered that when I saw my notes about, grief is the yearning for our deepest desires to be fulfilled. So, yeah. So, anyway, well, let's just continue. Oh, and I want to say, please, if you have any questions or comments, please just drop them in the comment box. And I think I have my comment box kind of covered with my notes. Oh my gosh, yes. So we do have a comment. Oh, my darling dear friend Megan here. And Megan's going to be a host. It's going to be a guest on the show very soon. We just have to talk about that, right, Megan? And Megan says, here in Mexico, the body is in the house until buried, usually within 48 hours. Yes, thank you, Megan. Yes, yes, yes. Here in Mexico, totally a different ritual for grieving or mourning that I was not accustomed to. Yeah, the body is in the house and then it's buried within 24 hours. So, and here I want it longer with my mother's body, correct? For me, Megan, I was going to say the reason now when looking back in hindsight of wanting more time is that it's really hard. Keep it in the eye. It was hard for me to really connect that my mother was really gone. And maybe even after a month, maybe we'd kept her body above ground. Well, she was cremated, but maybe it still would not have had that integrate as quickly as I would like it to. So thank you, Megan, for that. Thank you. So, alrighty, onward and upward, since we've got a few more items to discuss in building our grief support system, because I do want to end with teaching you something called box breathing. And it's really very effective, but I want to end with that because if I do the breathing, I'm going to be ready to just go to sleep. So, but we'll continue on. The next area is 4 friends to have. Remember how I talked about not grieving in isolation? And that is truly my theme. My go-to is you need to talk about it. Grief needs to be heard. Grief needs to be validated, and you can't validate yourself. Okay, so you need to have those friends. And this is from a book entitled The Grief Journey by Timothy Summerlin. And he really advocates that you need four categories of friends, okay? And the first one is someone who has been through the exact type of loss that you've been through. Remember I said my sister, Penny, also known as Crystal, lost her husband suddenly. So for her would be a friend who also lost their partner suddenly. You have that commonality of knowing what that's like. For me, it could be I am in grief around an issue that does not, it's not the death of a loved one, but an estrangement of a loved one that I'm deeply grieving. And I would need a friend that I can talk to about that. Like, wow, that person is still alive here on the planet, but I can't, we have not been able to connect with heart to heart. We've not been able to have a heart to heart connection. So I would need that type of friend. And the other friend would be someone that just treats you normally, just like, oh, come on, Bonnie, it's time to, go out to dinner. Let's go to a movie. Let's go for, a fast car ride with the top down in a convertible. Just time to do something fun and just allowing you to leave behind that grief for a little bit. Because as much as I say, yes, we have to walk through it, grief is exhausting and you do need some downtime. You do need some rest from that. I think that was back in one of our lives, our questions about how you can be kinder and gentler to yourself. And one of those is, yeah, give yourself a pass, give yourself a minute to just be normal and have fun and be giddy and silly, if that's what you like. And the other person would be someone that is a good listener. That when you start to talk or repeat your story or tell your story, you don't want them, oh, but let me tell you when my mother died. Oh, no, you want someone that will just listen. Listen without judgment and just listen. Timothy Summerlin is so funny in his book. He says, oh, what he does to ensure that he gets that listener is that he will say, can I take you out to dinner if you'll just listen to me? If you'll just listen to me, I will pay for dinner. And he said, and during the dinner, if the person starts to talk, he goes, no. I said I needed a person to listen. So that's what you need, is a good listener. And the last is that you need someone that is a truth teller, that will say to you, that will tell you the truth. Oh, Bonnie, I've noticed maybe you're drinking a little bit more alcohol than usual. Or I haven't seen you coming out of the house and going for any walks or doing anything for self-care, Bonnie. What's going on? Not somebody that says, oh, you should be over this by now or get yourself together. None of that. Somebody that can just tell the truth about any behaviors that you could be sliding into that could be detrimental later on. So that's what you need. And I had a lovely friend over last week, and we were talking about this. She lost her son. She had some really deep losses, and so we were talking about that. And she said, "Oh my gosh, Bonnie, 4 friends. I don't know." She said, "I was busy working and trying to move through grief and didn't have 4 friends." So I was going to say, if you don't have 4 friends, do you have a friend that could embody a couple of these, that is a truly good listener, and at the same time will say, let's go out, girl, and have fun on a Saturday night. Girls just want to have fun. So look around, just, take a survey of your friendships, and know that if you don't have those friendships, and they are so needed, then that is when you need to consider counseling or coaching, so that you have a place to take these emotions to. As I said, what you resist will persist. So finding the friends and knowing that coaching and counseling, and goodness, support groups are just wonderful for those kinds of things. I did a support group in California at Kaiser Hospital, not promoting Kaiser, but just looking around for support groups. And it was so helpful, so really helpful to hear so many different stories and be able to bring different parts of yourself to the support. So that's what I'll say about support groups and friends and listening and being heard. And here's another area. I'm just going to breathe that in. That's a lot. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but I hope something sticks. Even if it's only one word that sticks, I am feeling truly successful. And I do want to say this, that grief can feel like it's taken over your whole life. You can just feel like it's just really, truly pervasive, that everything is sucked up by this grief. And, but I can assure you there are areas that can still shine. I was reading the book by Sheryl Sandberg. You know, she was the CEO of Facebook, whose husband died suddenly, young man on a treadmill, and they found him dead on the treadmill. And she had 2 small children. And she was just, oh my gosh, you can imagine, so devastated. So, but her daughter's birthday was coming up. And so she decided to go ahead and have a birthday party. And it was through watching her daughter be so happy and gleeful and in total bliss and joy, even though that young daughter's father had died, she was still able to be in the moment and enjoy the bliss of her birthday party. So that's where this next suggestion comes into play. So when I just offer you to try this just for 1 week and see what you think, you don't like it, money back guaranteed. I think Gina, my guest last week, was saying, oh, you can get your misery back if things don't work. But no, just that if it doesn't work, then abandon it. Don't feel like, oh, I did that, it didn't work. But just try it. You may be surprised, like, wow, this is really effective. And so this was like journaling. And, you know, we hear a lot about journaling, and journaling is so vital for so many of us that have ideas that we want to purge and get them out on paper. But I love this one. This was like journaling 3 accomplishments for the day. You know, we all have gratitude. Well, some of us have gratitude journals, and you know, where I write down 5 things each day that I'm grateful for. But I really love this because this was quick and simple for those people that may find it a little bit more challenging to journal and keep a gratitude journal. This is like 3 accomplishments for the day. Excuse me. Just that, oh, maybe, I had the perfect cup of tea this morning. Oh, there was a rainbow over the mall. Gosh, my colors that I wore today made me feel so alive. And the idea for that is for you to start to see other parts of your life and where things are working. And it's called that area where sometimes when we're in grief, it can be very pervasive. And there's something called the 3 Ps that build resilience in grief, and pervasiveness, moving beyond the pervasiveness area of grief is one of the key factors to building resilience. And another show, I will definitely go more into those 3 P's. So for now, just 3 things that worked well today. Just 3 things. The taxi showed up my Uber showed up in record-breaking time. So yeah, just to see that there are other areas of our lives that continue to shine, even with the darkness of grief around. And this last one, I am not going to belabor it. We've all heard physical activity. It's like, I'm going to let you choose. You choose what it is that you want to do. You want to go kickboxing, what's that, rock climbing. If you're like me, how about just walking? Rock climbing a little bit out, rowing, cycling. Oh, my sister and I, we did Pilates for a while. I loved that. So you find something. You find the physical activity that works for you. Even if you are in the house and can't get out for whatever reason, you know, there's those videos, those walk videos with that Leslie Sampson from 100 years ago. You can walk a mile a day, 2 miles, whatever, you can do that. If you have mobility issues, there's chair yogas. I've seen that, and that's on YouTube. I mean, it doesn't require that you have cable. It's on YouTube. So there are just a plethora of different types of physical activity that you can participate in. And yeah, there's just, I was gonna mention another, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there, just saying that physical activity. So as I said, I know it's a lot and I'm talking and talking, but I want you to know that there is ways to have a support system. And I am, just one quick second, my computer is deciding that it wants to go into grief mode. Okay, all right, there you have it. Yes, so anyway, I'm gonna let Joe take us to break for a minute. And then when we come back, I want to teach you the technique of box breathing. So take a break. If you want to get a little something to drink and come back, let's do it.
New Thought Radio, music from all your favorite New Thought artists. From Jamie Lula, Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, Ricky Byers, Daniel Nahmod, Eddie Watkins Jr., and many, many more. 24/7 New Thought Radio. Positively inspiring. On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Hi there, Bonnie Gonzalez, your doula for grief, here with you on another Monday with the theme of building your grief support system. And I see we have some comments here. And I said my wonderful friend Megan that dropped a comment to let us know that here in Mexico, the body's in the house until burial, usually within 24 hours. And then we have another special guest, Wayne Baldwin. Wayne, I'm so glad you finally tuned in to your Doula for Grief. I was starting to feel left out. Wayne watches, oh wow. Wayne is a devoted watcher of New Thought Media Network. And Wayne, your support is so greatly appreciated. So Wayne is from Calgary. Oh, hey Wayne, there's a lot of Canadians down here in Jalisco, Mexico. And Wayne says, get up, dress up, show up, never give up. You're right, Wayne, never be defeated. And, Wayne has some imaginary friends that think he's special. Well, I'm not an imaginary friend, Wayne, but I think you're special. So thank you, Wayne, for joining us today. I want to offer you to really check out other programs on New Thought Media Network. Coming up later today, I think it's 4 o'clock Mountain Time. There's a Circle of Peace with Gina Krupka. She'll be on with the Circle of Peace. And there is daily prayer at 8:15 a.m. Mountain Time and 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. And so daily prayer. Gina's here with us later for Circle of Peace. I know that on Wednesday, we have Rockin' the Love at 12 noon Mountain Time. Let's see. Choice Your Superpower with my good friend Zoe tomorrow. Okay, here we are, the Circle of Peace today at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And as I said, I know Zoe has this program, Choice Your Superpower. So just lots of wonderful programming here on New Thought Media. Just really thought-provoking conversations and deep levels of conversation. There you go. Yes, thank you. And our friend Wayne says that my name's Wayne, and and I'm a Facebook addict. Oh, well, okay, Wayne, I guess that's not too much of TMI, but thank you so much. I'm glad that you could give that shout out for yourself. So I wanted to bring you back to, as I said, I want to close with us learning something called box breathing. And it's just what it says. It's like a box. It's a count of 4 breaths in. Inhalation to the count of 4. Hold at the top of the inhalation to the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 4. And hold to the count of 4. And you just repeat that. It's like a box. Up, across, hold, down, across, and hold. And I was going to say the box breathing is really effective because, anxiety and panic attacks are frequent visitors to some grievers. And plus, we live in a very stressful society to boot. The Navy, and oh yes, if you want some credibility to this, Navy SEALs use this technique frequently when they're placed in high stress situations. Box breathing is a valuable mindful technique that can aid in stress management and overall wellness. Box breathing is just one of the techniques used by the Navy SEALs. Box breathing has the ability to lower your blood pressure and gets you really centered and reconnected, decreasing stress in your body. And right before the show today, there was a tremendous earthquake. And I'm from California, and I'm earthquake savvy, as I say. But this one unnerved me. So I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to do my show. I'm a wreck. I thought, well, you're teaching box breathing today. Let's do it and see how it works. So anyway, I got to practice my own medicine, correct? So, okay. So we're just going to do box breathing. We're going to go through it 4 cycles. And I just want you to notice how you feel notice how you're feeling right now. So just want you to sit, get in a chair, sit up straight, get comfortable. And with any type of deep breathing, you always start by a big exhalation, getting everything out. And what I was going to say, I've been a meditator for quite some years. So I'm quite familiar with different styles of breathing. And I love this one because it's so simple. And so much of even meditating and being in that state is getting the mind involved. So the mind is engaged in this. So we're just going to sit up straight and just exhale all the way out. And I will do the count. And we're going to exhale. Oh, and when you exhale, we're going to inhale, hold to inhale to at 4, hold to 4, exhale at 4. When you exhale, you can either do what's called pursed lip breathing, or you can just do a whatever feels right for you. Okay, so here we go. Just sitting up straight, just getting your mind relaxed and soft. Taking a big exhalation. Now inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. One last time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And just breathe normally. Just allow your breath to return to a normal rate of breathing. And as you return to a normal rate of breathing, just do a loving body scan. Just scanning your body for any remaining or residual tightness or tension. And just breathing into those spaces. Just breathing easily and gently. Just wiggle your fingers and toes and Just bring your attention back to the room and back to the sound of my voice in the screen. And I just thank you for taking that time to allow yourself to have that experience of box breathing. Knowing that that is always there, it's always available. The idea is to practice it a couple times a day if you want, or once a day, and do at least 10, 12 repetitions. It's only 4, the counts of 4. Do that 10, 12 times, or whatever feels right, whatever feels good to you. Don't want you to should on yourself, so just do what feels right. And I just want to thank you for being here today to start to build your own personal grief support system. And so I just want to recap what I've shared with you. And one was give yourself permission to grieve. Know that you are worthy of that. Ask for what you need. It increases the chances of your getting it. Know your communication style and be comfortable with it. And be in curiosity around those 4 friends. Do you have them? Do you look out and see where you have that support? Not everything is about reinventing the wheel. Sometimes we have just what we need right in front of us when we stop to assess that. And today and going forward, just till next Monday, just journal 3 accomplishments. Very easy. Just journal 3 accomplishments. And then physical activity. You choose. You choose. You're large and in charge of your life. You choose what works for you. But do something. And don't forget box breathing. Give that a try today and first thing in the morning. Thank you. And I see our beautiful friend Wayne is sending us white light. All in the cosmos. We all breathe light. Pure love under my umbrella. Oh, yes. Wayne, I love that. There is pure love under my umbrella. What's under your umbrella? Again, I am Bonnie Gonzalez, your doula for grief, and I am just so honored and overjoyed that we had this last hour together. Can you believe this? An hour has gone by. Oh, I don't know how you feel, but that box breathing left me in a really tender, loving, peaceful space. So until next week, Bonnie Gonzalez, your doula for grief, and I am available for grief coaching. Thank you so much. What do you need today? What do you need today? Ask that question. Ciao.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.